Hi, this is Ilma Art Studios photograph for today. A beautiful sunset in one of the parks in Orangeville. Hi, check my website at ilmaarts.com for more artworks and photographs. Today I'd like to share Hosea 11 verse 2. It says, "But the more I called to him, the farther he moved from me, offering sacrifices to the images of Baal and burning incense to idols." Here's my poem. The more I call, the farther they moved. Do you hear God's voice calling you back to Him? Are you heeding His call, or are you stuck in sin? When God calls, some people move farther away. They choose to live in bondage and continue to stray. Why don't His followers stay faithful and true? Why do we usually choose to stay in trouble and rule? Follow the voice that comes from God's nudging. It will bring victory over the enemy's tempting. Here's my essay. Why did the Israelites choose to turn their backs on God after they were delivered and brought to the promised land? It sounds like the relationship between a parent and a rebellious child. The more parents ask them to obey, the more they rebel. Just like the more God called the Israelites to Him, the farther away they moved from Him. They defend God instead and offered sacrifices to the images of Baal, another pagan god, and burned incense to idols. They knew that the very first commandment that God asked from them to obey is not to have any other gods before Him, but to love Him above all. So they deliberately followed the spirit of rebellion and idolatry. Prayer. Lord, deliver me from any idols that I have carved for myself and other gods. Reflection. What kind of idols today do we worship that we are unaware of? In our modern society, there are many kinds of idols that we can actually worship aside from God. And sometimes we don't even know that we are. But an idol is anything that takes our eyes off the Lord and distract us from giving praise to the Lord and making Him first in our lives. So what stops us from having enough time for the Lord or for having a relationship with God? First, it could be our job. Sometimes we spend so much time in our jobs that we find all kinds of excuses not to have time for the Lord. Another idol could be a relationship. When you're consumed by your love for somebody and that you don't put God first in that relationship, then you're making that relationship an idol. If you are so obsessed to have more material wealth, that could be an idol. If you are constantly angry and you embrace anger and bitterness, it could be an idol that you want to stay in anger or resentment or bitterness. If you are busy all the time and trying to be perfect and trying to be a person that you have wanted yourself to be, then you are making yourself an idol. If you have been perfecting yourself in your own strength without God's will and truth and guidance, then you are making a god of yourself and competing with God. If you are rebellious and wanting to prove that you know better than God knows best for you, then you are making yourself an idol as well. So there are so many other kinds of idols that we can, or even social media could be an idol. If we spend so much time on Facebook, on Twitter, on all kinds of media, and we're constantly on our phone, we don't even look at the person we're talking to because our eyes are on our phone, and we don't, when we're eating, we have our phone with us, and we don't even fellowship with others, then that's an idol for you. So those are just some of the idols that sometimes we're not aware of, but I'm sure God knows. And deep in your heart, you know that you are not spending the right time and enough time for God and not making Him first in your life. So thanks for watching. I hope you check my website. at ilmaarts.com for more artworks and photographs. Have yourself a better day, or a beautiful day, and a day that's blessed, and go out there and bless somebody else, because God has blessed you with so much. God loves you so much, and so do I.